Okay, I am recording. Susan, you don't need to be on video. Turn off. Okay, so today's session is, stop video. Today's session, I'm going to be doing real estate listing presentations. Now, I just did a 2-day conference speaking to 800 agents. So I'm wearing a hat, I'm unshaven. The reason why I have my video camera even on is because I'm going to role play and do the listing presentation with you. And I'm going to give you these as a template as well. So let me show you the templates first. This is a PowerPoint template. I'm going to go through this, give it to you so that you can edit it and make it your own. You're not going to need to recreate the wheel. You're just going to have to polish up what I give you, okay? So I'm going to give you a PowerPoint presentation already pre-done with everything done for you. And then I'm also going to give you a Word document. So my presentations back in the day, actually, it was a piece of paper. And I would just go down that piece of paper. The reason why I didn't like the PowerPoint or animated presentations is because eye-to-eye contact is really important, and a lot of you're like setting up the computer, the keyboard's dirty, the screen's smudgy, their eyes are fixated on the screen itself, and your eyes are fixated on the screen also because you're using that as a crutch to work your way through the conversation. To me, I like the piece of paper better, so I'm going to show you this piece of paper that I use. It's got a cover sheet. You'll obviously change it to be your own information with all your social media. And then going down it, I talk about the company. We're the #1 brokerage. We've got X number of agents. We have 2 locations. We do paperless and traditional options for paperwork. 100% of every side is donated. So I'm kind of like talking about the brokerage. Then I would talk about ourselves and explain who we are and what we do. Then I would go over our marketing plan and all the different things we do for marketing. Digital marketing and traditional marketing. Then I would go through the security of the benefits of being with a real estate agent and the security of the whole process. And then I would actually go through the process because some people have never sold a home before. So I go through that process with them. And then the FAQ, which is frequently asked questions, is for people that they've got a question, like they're dealing with an objection or something like that. I bring up the objections ahead of time. So when I was brand new in the business, people would be like, man, you look so young. Have you ever even sold a home before? And they would ask those questions. So I built them into the presentation. So anything that you commonly come up against, whether it be commission, they don't want to list right away, I build that right into the listing presentation. Then I have a space for testimonials. I leave this with the people. So you would obviously fill that out with your testimonials. And I give them a page of all of our vendors, because maybe at the end of the conversation when we're listing the property, I would discover, oh, things need to get cleaned up, junk needs to get removed, the place needs painted, whatever. So I would give them a list of all of our vendors. So I would do at least 3 vendors for each category. And that would be a 2-page thing. And I wouldn't go over that. I would just be like, here's a list of all of our vendors. It's there for you if you need it. Now let's talk numbers. Then I would pull out and do the CMA of these are all the comparables. This is what your home would probably be worth. And I would go through that conversation, do a net sheet to determine what they're going to sell for and what they would walk away with, and go over all the really important information. So all of that isn't part of the presentation. That's more of like a conversation and you're educating and explaining to them. So the presentation to me is just to show the who, what, where, when, and to deal with objections before they're brought up. Okay, so I'm going to give you this as a 1-pager. I call it a 1-pager. It's actually 7 pages. But you could easily print that off, staple it, and go down point by point. And it makes it really easy for those of you that don't like technology, you don't want to have a computer or an iPad. Now, I'm going to go through this as if I'm explaining it to the seller. So say I am comfortable with doing a presentation. I would have this loaded up on my iPad because PowerPoint works on iPad or whatever smart device you use. And then I would go through it. So I'd say, okay, Mr. Seller, thank you so much for having me today. Now, any agent can put a sign in the yard. So what I'm going to do today is I want to share with you what makes us different. So why is our company and why is my method any better or any different than the other people that you may be interviewing? So for one, we're the number one brokerage in the city based on listings sold in X year. And also, let me turn off these videos. So we're the number one brokerage in the city based on listings sold in XX. We have 87 agents. We have 3 managers, 6 staff, a marketing department, and a 24/7 answering service. So the benefit to you is with the 87 agents that we have, that builds market share. So we have a larger chunk of the market share. We also have a collective buying power. So full page magazine ads, newspaper advertising, collectively we buy our marketing together so that we can get you more exposure. And then also, if you think about all these other agents, they all have their own listings. People are going to their website to check out their listing, and it may or may not be a fit. And if it's not a fit, guess what? My listing is on their websites as well. So it's kind of like a cross-pollination. With the 3 managers, they really keep all of us up to speed on keeping you, the seller, safe with all the contracts we should be using, because the industry is always changing the terms and conditions. There's a lot of mortgage changes happening. So the manager is really my vehicle to keep me up to speed, and I use them for leverage. With the 6 staff that we have, they're the day-to-day operations of answering the phone calls, booking the showings, loading the listings, that sort of thing. And then the marketing department, nobody told me when I got into real estate that you basically have to have a marketing degree to be a real estate agent. So we actually have a marketing department that I lean on for my print marketing, my digital marketing. They help us with creating our content. And then we also have a 24/7 answering service. So what that means is, say a shift worker is looking at your listing at 3 o'clock in the morning and they call our office or they call me, obviously nobody's going to be around to answer, but we switch it over to an answering service so that they actually get a live person on the phone. They're going to take all their information and then I'm going to be able to follow up. So the 24-hour answering service is our answer to this 24/7 business that we're in, which is real estate. We also have 2 locations. We're open late in the evening, open on weekends. We have free Wi-Fi, easy parking, and private rooms. So we have a location in Oshawa and a location in Whitby, but we actually serve all of the Durham region. And if you know anybody who has to buy a home or sell a home across the country, we actually have a referral network as well. So we focus here locally, but we're across the country. It's important to know that we're open in the evenings and on the weekends because a lot of real estate offices, they shut down at 5 o'clock. We have extended hours because we believe real estate is a human business and that you want to be able to talk to somebody live and actually be able to come into our office and chat and that sort of thing. So we're open late in the evening and open on weekends. The private rooms is because it may or may not happen where we have to meet at a coffee shop. If we're on the go and we got to get a deal done, it could happen where we meet at your house or on the go. But also just know that we do have private rooms. So if you have to come and have a confidential conversation, you don't want other people listening or eavesdropping, we've got the private room for you. Now, we also have paperless and traditional options. So when you sign a contract for, say, a buyer brings you an offer to buy your home, you're going to be signing a contract. Now, you can do it 2 different ways. We do paperless and traditional. So there's pros and cons to both. And at the time and place, I'll share with you which is probably the better fit. But if you're not comfortable with paperless, then we can go full out traditional option. So we're going to make it work for you. And there's a time and place, and I'll share with you when that happens. Now, 10% of every sale that we do is actually donated to the local shelter here in the region. We do a yearly turkey drive, giving back to the homeless and needy. I run a youth mentorship program, and there's a number of other charities that we contribute to on a yearly basis. The reason why I'm sharing this with you is because we're not a fly-by-night, seat of our pants type of operation. We're here in the community for the long run, and you may or may not have known the different ways that we give back. So I want to tell you a little bit about us, because within the brokerage, there's a team, and our team is here to handle the sale of your home. And so we have 3 full-time agents. There's myself, Becky, and Steve, and we have 25 years collective experience. So between the 3 of us and the hundreds or thousands of deals that we've done, we've pretty much seen it all. So we're not making things up as we go, and we can bank on each other. So if I can't and have an issue with something on the contract, Becky's probably come across it, and same with Steve. So you've got the power of 3 for the price of 1. We also have 2 admin that are within our umbrella. So they're directly there to help you with printing off the feature sheets, answering any questions, giving you feedback on the showings that happen. And we have 6 supporting agents. So these 6 supporting agents, they actually do business on their own. They're their own real estate agent within the company. They're not a part of our team, but we do use them and they partner with us for things like open houses. And maybe there's a time where we're doing a home inspection, that sort of thing. And time is of the essence. And we want to make sure that you can make it work around your schedule. So we have 6 other agents that will help us with things like that. We're the number 1 team in the brokerage, number 3 in the region. I'm an internet marketing specialist. I'm a past regional director, and I run the YPN committee. So the past regional director, I was in charge of our region for all of the real estate agents with the different things that are happening within the industry. So I was like really finger on the pulse with what was happening in the industry. And the YPN committee, that is a young professional network specific to real estate. We meet monthly and we share and discover new marketing technology that helps the home sellers like you. Now, it's not all business. You want to know a little bit about me. On the left there, that's me standing in my kitchen. I'm in the process of writing a book and starting a new podcast, which is exciting. In the middle, you'll see I'm into flying airplanes and apparently jumping out of airplanes. And then I also do a run every night, a 5-kilometer run. And I'm on a mission right now to do a 5K race in every state and province in Canada and the US. So those are my hobbies. My family consists of my wife and myself. We have a dog, and apparently I have the habit of saving and rehabilitating birds. So there's something interesting to me about something that is very skittish and vulnerable, and then having it just totally open up to you. And it's really heartwarming to me. So I don't know, I like animals of all types. In my past, I thought I was actually going to be a pilot. And then I discovered that the cost of becoming a pilot was going to be about $13,000 just to be a passive pilot, not even a commercial. And so I bought a duplex instead. And that led me to public speaking and marketing in real estate. And then ultimately on my journey of being a real estate agent, which is why I'm here with you today. So I want to share with you the marketing plan that we do. We digitally enhance all of our photos and we use real video tours. So see the photo on the left? See how, like, that's a perfectly fine photo. You would look at that on the MLS and you would be, oh, that's a good photo. It looks nice. However, if you look at the photo on the right, it's digitally enhanced. So we'll turn on the lights, we'll brighten up the rooms, we'll just make the photo that much more attractive. Because when we're doing our marketing and people are scrolling through their news feed, we want them to stop and stand out. That service, it just costs $5 for us to do that. And we know all of these different tips and tricks on how to make you stand out. So that's just one example. As far as the video tour, we don't just do a slideshow and turn that into a video. We actually have a videographer come through and they're going to make an edited professional video. We're also going to do a listing blast to thousands of real estate agents. So the day you become listed and it's put on the MLS, all of the consumers are going to be able to find that online, no problem. We are also going to, through in that same system, it's going to notify all the agents and in particular, all of their buyers who match your criteria. If they're on an email alert system, that's going to get positioned through there. Now, at that time, it's really important that we're priced right. So I'm going to cover price at the end of this, but it's really important that when we do this initial blast that we price the property right, because this is one of the biggest bangs for the buck. It's like, boom, it goes out there to the world. All these thousands of buyers that are looking in our area that have anything to do with your criteria of a home, you want them to find it. And if it's priced right, it's going to help out. So when it gets listed, obviously it's going to go on the MLS, but we don't just stop there. We're going to put it on Zillow. We're going to put it on our national brands website. It's going to go on my personal website. We're also going to leverage IDX, VOW, and a few other options. Now, I know you don't know what that means, but what it means is real estate agents can share listings within different brokerages and within different agents. So if you're on my website and I only had 16 listings, for example, which would be a lot for a typical agent, but if I only had 16 listings, there's not that much more for people to look at. So with the IDX, the VOW, and a couple of other options, we share our listings, and it puts, when you get listed with me, it's going to get put on all the other agents who use these systems. Classified websites and local blogs, we're going to leverage that as well. We're going to do Facebook and Instagram ads. This is obviously where the consumers hang out and play. So we want to position you so that that's where you are. We're going to do a coming soon, a just listed, and an open house ad, creating thousands of views for each set. So each set is its own marketing piece. And we're going to continue marketing the home until it gets sold. So we're not going to stop marketing after the open house. We're going to do these three, and then we're going to continue marketing the home until it gets sold. And we're going to leverage Facebook and Instagram ads for that. I'm also going to position ourselves on Google. So Google pay-per-click is if you go to, and you can test this out after you meet with me and if you meet other agents, go to Google and type in Oshawa real estate for sale, and we'll be on the first page. Now, if your agent isn't on the first page, that's a pretty big deal because buyers are going to the internet. And obviously, if they're going to the internet, they want to buy a home. What are they going to search? They're going to search locally, Oshawa real estate for sale. So we do that. We're already covered. We invested in that for you so that you're at the first page of Google. Talking about video marketing is like all the rage in the real estate world. It's the big buzz thing right now. So if your agent isn't leveraging video, then you're missing out. And if you choose to hire us, we are going to do that. We're going to market video with a professional editing. We're going to not just take the video and upload it to the MLS, but we're actually going to run paid ads on social media and just drive as much buzzworthy conversation and impressions as possible about the beauty of your listing. So these are two examples down below. It's important to know that your real estate agent has lead conversion tools because one of the biggest complaints in the industry, and you might have experienced this, where you fill in a form or you ask a question and then the real estate agent doesn't get back to you for days or maybe even weeks and possibly never. Well, lead conversion is a big deal to us. It's really important that we get back to all of the potential buyers for you. So a couple of the tools that I use is callpage.io. That allows people to instantly receive a free callback within 28 seconds on all of our listings and our entire website. We use SMS auto texting, so that's just texting. And so when we generate leads, they get opted into a text marketing plan because if you email a person or you call them, there's a good chance they won't answer the phone and they won't even open the email. But through text, we actually convert better, so we have that in place. Instant chat is a tool that we have on our website so that you've probably seen it before when you're on a real estate website and you're forced to register to look at the listings. Some consumers don't want to register and give name, phone number, and email just to ask a question like what's the square footage, what's the age, what's the property tax, that sort of thing. So we actually have instant chat on our website. It allows the consumer to ask questions and kick the tire without giving name, phone number, and email, but we can still serve them to best serve you because we want to have as many conversations about your property as possible. And we still do use the forced registration method on our website. So if you go to our website, I'm going to create a username and password for you so that you don't have to register. But we do require other people register because that's the only way I can contact them to follow up to see if they'd be interested in your home or not. So I use call, text, and email for our follow-up, but we actually have real staff and virtual assistants to help leverage this. So the initial call is really, really important. Most people drop the ball after that first call. So we have a system in place where we continually touch and reach people until we connect with them. So we do that. It's really, really important. We even have an inside sales staff for deep follow-up. So the inside sales staff is following up with the leads weeks, months, and even years later with people. So we have inside sales staff that have been working with buyer leads from last year that are just getting ready to buy a home now. So we have that system in place to keep the pipeline full. We also use rule-based marketing. So you may have discovered you go to a website, you leave that website, and then all of a sudden you start seeing ads everywhere about that website. We do that. It's called Google remarketing. And so think of this. When a person looks at all of our other listings and they don't fit their needs, they'll leave our website. So we'll rebrand us and our marketing and our listings to bring them back and then cross-pollinate so that they find your listing. So it's vice versa. We're leveraging all of our listings. So any listing that a person looks at, it will tag them, and then we'll remarket to bring them back to our website because maybe they didn't like that other person's listing, but they like yours. We also do blogging and organic SEO. That's search engine optimization, because there's this thing called the internet, and it's really important that you get found. And a lot of real estate agents, their company will provide them with a free website, or their association gives them a free website, or they'll buy a templated website that looks the same as all the other agents' websites. Well, Google hates those. They all look the same. It's the same carbon copy. It's just a different name, phone number, email, and photo. Everything else is the same. For us, we change everything, and we're constantly pushing so that we actually get organic traffic for you. Everything that we do is mobile friendly because most of the internet and today's usage is on a mobile device. So everything we do, from our websites to our apps, they're all responsive and mobile friendly, so you can use it on a smartphone, a tablet, or a computer, making it easier for your buyer to actually register and contact us. And it's not all digital. We do traditional marketing as well, because this is the real estate business. So some of the things we do is right away, the first week when we get your home on the market, we're going to do an office agent tour. So we have about 10 to 25 agents who meet up on a weekly basis, and we will do a caravan tour of all the new listings. And collectively, in that first week, we're getting the feedback of what all those other agents think about it. And then we're going to be able to give you that feedback. Not only that, but they're looking for buyers. They have buyers themselves. So it's a way for us to kind of get like 30 people into your home in a 1 hour window versus 30 people on individual time slots at an hour each over the course of 30 hours, right? If that makes sense. So we do that. Really, really important. We also use interactive for sale signs. So some agents just put the sign in the yard and that's it. On our for sale sign, we use texting and a toll-free audio tour. So people can actually text to see the listing and get information, and people can call and hear a pre-recorded voice message of me describing what the property is and inviting them to book a showing with us. So our for sale signs are interactive. And we even use this on every for sale sign. We use a feature sheet sign box. It's weather resistant. Your feature sheets will be in there, and anybody who's walking through the neighborhood is going to be able to grab that, take it home, and share it with their friends and family. We do this for all of our listings, and on the back of every listing, we actually cross-pollinate the other listings that we have. So when we put your for sale sign in the yard, we're going to use this feature sheet sign box. Your listing is going to be featured on the cover, and then on the back side, we're going to have about 8 other listings. But vice versa, now your feature sheet is in the yard of 8 other listings, if that makes sense. You don't have to join in that program. It's free for you. I encourage you to do it. It's just going to get you more exposure. We also do newspaper advertising and magazine advertising. So this is 2 examples of the newspaper ads that we do and the magazine ads that we do. We do them weekly and monthly, depending. The newspaper is weekly, the magazine is monthly. And the viewership that we get is this amount, and I'll show you at the bottom. So we get a ton of views. A lot of people, they go to the internet to look at real estate, but a lot of people like flipping through and looking at the homes just like while they're having their morning coffee. So we want to make sure we're not only online, but we're also offline as well. We're going to do the open house, and we do it with an agent flex rotation. So what that means is I'll do an open house, but then maybe Becky will do an open house, and maybe one of our other 6 supporting agents will do an open house. You don't want the same person always doing the same open house, because we'll all approach it differently. We'll all market it differently. We'll all have different ambitions and excitement. So if an agent, sometimes this happens where they'll just do an open house 6 weekends in a row. Do you think on the 6th weekend that they're excited about waking up and going to do that? No, it's not going to come across as a positive experience. So we do an agent flex rotation so that you're not always relying on me. And we support these open houses with paid ads. So we don't just show up the day of and put a couple open house signs out. It's a marketing event. So for the entire week leading up to that open house, we're posting it online through the open house channels, the newspaper, and online advertising as well. So we're trying to get as much exposure as possible, and everything we do is a marketing event. When we get your listing, assuming that you do choose to list with us, we already do a direct mail in our farm area. So we're going to feature you. We do a print run of about 3 to 5,000 homes every month. So when we do that direct mail, we're going to include you to be featured on that so that everybody sees it. And then we're also going to do a postal code zip walk, and that's going to be right around your home. So our farm is in a different area as where this listing is that we're talking today. But we're still going to include that so that you have the benefit. But then we're also going to do a direct mail campaign within your immediate neighborhood, because a lot of the people in the area, they know other people that want to move to this area. So we're going to let people know. When appropriate, I'm going to go door knocking. That's definitely weather appropriate. And door knocking, when done right, is very effective. I have a very positive experience and a very positive script, so it's not annoying or spammy, as you can imagine. Now, I'm going to do that when we do our first open house. I'm going to do that when we're letting the neighborhood know, but it obviously depends on the weather. We're also going to do circle prospecting based on the do not call list. So when we take your listing, I'm going to pull up from the do not call list all of the homes in your area. And then I want to call everybody who's not on the do not call list, and I want to ask them if they know anybody who's thinking of moving to their area. It's more like a survey, and it's very quick. It's not annoying, and we do get information out of people and could lead to some business for you. So some of the security, the benefits of working with a real estate agent is we actually timestamp all of the showings. So when a buyer agent books a call to book a showing on your listing, we're going to know who they are, their contact information, and the time frame of when they're going to be in the property. We also use lockboxes for easy, secure showings. In the past, real estate offices actually used to have where we would have to go to the office to pick up the key. The problem with that is, picture this, you're a buyer, you're looking at 6 listings. That would take, say, 2 hours on average. Well, you pick up the keys at the beginning of the 2 hours. Now this home has their keys held ransom, and anybody else who wants to book a showing, they can't get in. So it's way safer for us to be using a lockbox than to have agents holding 6 sets of keys and going back to 6 different offices to drop them off. We also automate the showing instructions, because sometimes you have something unique where about your property you have to tell people about something specific, like maybe there's wet paint and you don't want people going through a certain doorway, or there's a security code, or whatever it is. We can automate that so that there's no real human error except on the end of the buyer agent who's doing the thing if they don't read properly. But we can, to the best of our ability, let everybody know safe and securely information that you have to get them on. Open house registration forms, we use this. It's really important that if you have an open house and you have 30 people come through your home, there's one agent and there's 30 people walking all over the place. What we do is we have people fill in an open house registration, and people don't like doing it, but they have to do it. We have to know who's coming through your property, and we go through the home with the people. We don't, during an open house, just let people wander freely. They have to stick with us as a group. We use industry standard paperwork, so we pay a lot of fees to our boards and our associations to keep you safe with the current forms and paperwork. So we use that. A lot of people might want to be like a for sale by owner, for example, and they're really not doing the best interest for the buyer. They're just trying to save commission or whatever they're doing. With the standard paperwork that we use, you just know that we're up to snuff. So you've seen all those realtor ads right there promoting the use of a realtor and being safe. And the big piece of that is the standard paperwork that we use. Now, the process of selling a home is that we're going to have a staging consultant come through and give a review of the things that you should change, move around, clean up, whatever. I don't know what she's going to say. She's going to be the bad cop. I'm the good cop. So she's the bad cop. She's going to come through and she's going to tell you what to do. And then you might have to clean up and repair a couple things. From there, we're going to get the photos and the video created. So after we've cleaned up and got everything in order, we're going to get the photos and video. We're going to order up the for sale sign, get the feature sheets made up, and all of our digital marketing. We're going to get that prepared and ready before we even need it. We're going to broker load to the MLS and then blast out to the thousands of agents and then have the email go out to all the buyers who fit your criteria of a home. So that's going to happen right away. We start our digital and traditional marketing plan. I just went through it. There's a lot more than what I'm sharing with you, but from what I shared with you, you can agree that we do a lot more than what you may have thought that a real estate agent does. And so we're going to start that. The showings will commence, and then weekly feedback happens. So not only is there showings happening, but we also do our best to get feedback from that other agent. Now, it's really challenging, and it's kind of like herding cats to get that information out of other real estate agents, but we have a system in place where we call them, text them, and email them, and we do the courtesy to them as well. If they want feedback on properties we show, we do that. And it's really important for you to know where you currently sit, because if we do the numbers today, the market could shift in 2 weeks, and maybe the price that we thought it could be higher or it could be lower, and it's good to keep a pulse on the industry. Offers, when they get registered, they're going to be presented with our office, so we're going to know everything about the people involved with the other brokerage, especially, and then the buyers that they're bringing to the table. We're going to review that offer. We're going to counter it or accept it with conditions, depending. Every situation is unique and different, so we'll play that by ear when it happens. You should know conditions take time. So say somebody's doing a financing condition or a home inspection condition, there could be time that takes place, and there could be moments where you have to take action, and it's annoying. You're like, oh, I have to grab this paperwork. We have to play the game. You have to play by the rules. Everybody has to play by the rules, and just know we're going to make this transition as smooth as possible. But there are times and situations where it's not ideal that you have to leave your home because of a home inspection. It's just the way it's going to be. So I just want you to be on the same page as that. Once conditions are waived and everything goes to the lawyers. So we follow up not only to the closing, but after too. So we actually have a 3, 6, and 12-month follow-up program during the first year. And this is our industry's biggest complaint, that as soon as the home is sold, done. You don't even hear back from the agent again. That's the biggest complaint. From a survey done by the National Association of Realtors, the people who buy and sell a home do not hear back from their real estate agent after the sale. Well, we have a 3, 6, and 12-month plan where the third month, 6th month, and 12th month, you're going to be getting a phone call from somebody on our team. It could be me, it could be our admin, and we're just going to check in, see how things are going, and keep you up to speed on other things happening. I'm also going to give you a yearly house value report and market update. So every year, I'm going to be giving you a phone call and saying, hey, Joey, it's Danny here. Year-end report, the house values have changed. Do you want a copy? You may or may not want that. But every year, I'm going to call you, just offering to make sure that I'm always here for you, for your real estate needs, not only now, but in the future as well. So we get a lot of frequently asked questions. What's my house worth? And what would I net? Those are the two main questions. And we're going to go over that, but not in my PowerPoint. This is more of a conversation to have on a piece of paper. So I'm going to do that next after this PowerPoint, okay? Now, the other questions that we get would be, how long can it take? I have a friend in the business, pros and cons of a team versus an agent. I want to find a home before I list. I want to list high and come down with price as a test. It's a common one. A lot of people want to do that. We need to finish projects first before we list the home. What's your commission and is it flexible? Can I sell it myself? And can I interview other agents? Okay, now I'm going to pause this video. So now I'm not pretending that I'm talking to the seller. I'm talking to you, the real estate agent, who's looking at this screen. It's important for you to build into your listing presentation all the common objections that you have, and you have to have an answer for all of these. And these answers can depend based on certain situations. So I actually have a Google document that I want to email you that has resources of objection handling. Like, there's a lot of real estate companies and coaches that have objection handling already done, and all these are already done for you. So I'm not going to do a whole session on objection handling because that would be a whole nother hour. We don't have time for that. So you're going to have to find the objection handling for these, and I'm going to include them in a link when I email you this template, okay? Now, you can add your own stuff. So down at the bottom, I say add any objections that are unique to you, like you're too young, you're part-time, nobody's ever heard of your brokerage, whatever. There's a ton of objections that maybe only you hear or you feel. Include them in your presentation and bring them up. Don't let them bring it up. You bring it up and then you deal with it. Then I would go through, after I go through all the objection handling, I would move on to a couple of the testimonials. So testimonial 1, testimonial 2, testimonial 3. And I say, okay, let's talk numbers. You ready to go? We're going to find out what the price of your home is. And then from there, I close the PowerPoint, like literally close the computer. And then I would have, okay, I say close the computer. Maybe you have everything on your computer for all of the comparables. So what I'm saying is move away from this presentation and then start doing your CMA, going over the days on market, working out the net sheet with how much it's going to cost and how much they need to net. Like, how much does that seller need in order to make the sale possible? You need to find that question out. Stop that video. I don't know why I can't stop this video. Sing, whatever your last name is, can you stop your video if you get a chance? Okay, thank you. Cool. So now this Word document that I created for you actually goes through the exact same presentation that I did with you. So that PowerPoint presentation that I did is these same bullet points. So you can use either the paper-based system or you could use the PowerPoint system. So I'm going to go through. Obviously, you would edit this to make it your own. You're going to update your own testimonials. And if you don't have testimonials, this is a good opportunity for you to use that as a reason to connect with your past clients. You got to get those testimonials. Vendors, you're like, oh man, I don't know who a good handyman is or renovator or junk removal. Well, guess what? Now this is an opportunity for you to build your database. You can call, ask within your company, find out who's good, call those people and start building a relationship with them. So there you go. You would add all of those people. And then at the end, I say, okay, let's talk numbers. And then that's when I would start pulling out all the comparables and going over everything. So I'm going to email you both of those. You can have them, edit them, use them, make them your own. And then I'm going to show you this. So I paid, what is this? I paid a virtual assistant. I said, okay, virtual assistant, I am doing a presentation on real estate listing presentations. Can you do all the market research for me and put it into a Google Doc? So she did. It's not meant to be pretty. We didn't edit it to be like something that we sell. I'm just giving this to you. And so what she did was, she said before you start, she helps you define what a listing presentation is, the statistics and some helps. A pre-listing presentation, there's blogs and articles on it, some PDFs and video examples that you can look at. Oh, that's a pre-listing presentation. Then, okay, so if you don't know what a pre-listing presentation is, say you have a listing appointment next Thursday evening. A pre-listing presentation gets delivered to them a couple days beforehand so that they can go through it and read your testimonials and see your marketing samples, that sort of thing. We used to have one of our admin would drive it over, but you could courier it over as well. It stands out. And then tools for building your presentation. So here's the templates, checklists, guides. So I want to email you this. You're going to have to go through and basically click each link and see what's valuable to you. So there's like Tom Ferry objection handling scripts are in here, listing presentations, like she basically went through the whole internet and kind of filtered out all the good stuff for you to make it easier for you. So I'm going to give you this as well. So I hope you see value in that. Now that's it. I hope you are like, wow, that is cool. I'm going to get all of that. And it's true. So we're done with this webinar. I want to ask if there's any questions and hang out if you guys want to chat with me. But for those of you that want to go and implement this, I'm going to be emailing this to you Monday evening when I update what our next topic and time is about. So thank you all for hanging out with me. And there is a chat feature, so go ahead and chat and let me know what you think or if you have questions. And for those of you that don't have a thought or a question, then you're free to hang up and go, and I'll get you the recording. So thank you. Bye. Yep, no problem. You're welcome. Cool. High five. Lots of good info. Do you have any great closing scripts? Okay. So that would be for the objection handling, right? And let me go back to that Word document or the Google document. I think it was like there's a bunch of them. Tom Ferry. Listing appointment dialogues. So here's a link for you. It's a PDF. So that's one. This presentation, no. There was another one. There's a bunch of links. Maybe, oh wait, maybe let me search objection. Objections during, after listing presentation. So here's a YouTube video. So, okay, good. Good thing I showed you this. When I give you this link, if you hit Control F on your keyboard, this little search bar will appear. Type in whatever it is that you want. So you could type in the word template. Let me do that. And there's 12 links that have the word template. So you could get a bunch of other templates. I don't think they're going to be as good as mine, but I'm just biased. And then, so for what I just said was objection. So there's 6 links that talk about objection handling. So there you go. Yeah. Is there a way to rewatch this? I'm at another job and had to cut in and out. Aaron, totally. Monday evening, I'm going to be sending you the video of this. So you're going to get a recorded version that you can watch. And I would actually encourage you to go through the presentation with me so that you can hear the tonality I use and the descriptions that I use, that sort of thing. Then here's the real kicker. Once you have your presentation done, fail your way forward. I would call my top 10 friends and family, like my mom, my sister, my best friend, and I would go to each of them and do a role play with them. What's going to happen, it's only going to take like 20 minutes. After that, you can have coffee and a drink and like hang out with them. But what you're doing is you're subliminally reinforcing with them who you are and what you do. You're also going to uncover and show them a bunch of stuff that they didn't even know. So I would do that with my top 10 people. And then I would even use it for any past people that were a seller lead. I would call them up and say, hey, I know you're still not ready to list your home. I just updated my listing presentation and I wanted to see, can I come by and show it to you? It's going to be 20 minutes, maybe 10 minutes if I can be really quick. And I just want to share that with you. One, for your knowledge, but selfishly, I want to get better at this new presentation that I just created. So the more people I share it with, the better. Is that okay? And I would use that as a way to connect with your database. That was a long-winded answer to that question, but yes, it's recorded. Cool. Okay. Yeah. No other questions, and most of you still stayed on. Okay. I'm going to end this video. I appreciate you guys being with me. You're going to get this Google Doc, a dirty looking Google Doc, like it is information overload. Let me point out something. So see how there's a link and then there's a bracket. My virtual assistant typed out what's in the bracket to summarize what it's about. So this is objections during, after listing presentation. Okay, this link here is a listing presentation that wins sellers. That sounds good. I should watch that. Scrolling down, this one goes through the real estate presentation tools from free to expensive and breaks down each. It also has a link to each tool. So what I'm not going to list separately. So there you go. So my VA literally is telling you a summarization of what each one is. Might be worth the time to take. Oh, that's it. I'm not going to tell you the next part. That's my surprise. Okay, thanks everyone. Bye.
Hey, if you want to close more real estate transactions, get more buyer leads, and get more seller leads, click this button right here. It'll take you to our real estate group coaching page. Also, if you like this video and want more, you can subscribe by pressing this, or you can check out some of my past videos here. Enjoy!